Will Power was the winner of the 2013 MAVTV 500. Stay tuned for remarks from him at the post-race press conference.
Team Penske, Will, how satisfying was it?
Yeah, that was very satisfying. I was just so determined to win now. I went backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards, visor change, forwards, backwards. But eventually went forwards to win it. And very, very happy. Verizon and Chevy and everything, and just for what happened last year, I had this race in my mind all year, and I had the ovals especially in mind to do a very good solid job, and that's exactly what happened. So probably my best win ever, that for sure.
We'll go ahead and open it for questions for Will. David, go ahead. Just.
Well, sorry, after a brilliant drive, I'm going to ask you about the one thing that went, well, two things that went wrong. What happened with the visor change, and what happened on one of the restarts where you kind of dropped down to like 15, 16?
The visor change, I'm guessing that a bunch of tear-offs came off. And then suddenly I'm finding, like, pulled my last one off, and we're not even halfway, and I'm like, we're in trouble. Like, and then we just had one restart, which I think that was the one that went backwards. And I'm like, I'm already struggling to see in this time, so it was obvious we had to change that. And we, kept on the lead lap and changed it. I knew we were quick enough to get up the front. The restart, I kind of tried to get around hinge and then had to brake, and then everyone went, and it was just a bad restart. Just like, I also couldn't believe it. I was like, my God, like all that work for nothing. But then started chipping back, and it was kind of good to run in traffic, because then you really knew how your car was and where you could run in traffic. Running out front, you got pretty, you could get comfortable, obviously, in clean air there, and yeah, so I thought the call by Cindric at the end there to put tyres on was a great call. Low fuel, good tyres, good car. I was thinking that anyone was going to struggle to beat us.
Don.
I heard you mention, I think on television, that you had a little extra incentive today to want to win this and make a point of some sort. I didn't hear exactly what was said, but I heard you were rather vehement about the incentive that got your foot to the floor.
The incentive? Well, the incentive was, Ed Carpenter said, I think it was something in Marshall Pruitt Road, that Will Power did exactly what everyone expected him to do at the last race last year. And I thought that was just such motivation for me to beat him and win at this track and just be good at ovals. And I went about it. I thought I'm going to beat Ed, which Ed is I really respect him. A very good, fast, clean oval racer. Always good to race, and I don't dislike him, but I told him, I said, man, your comment last year gave me a lot of motivation, and it's true. So yes, that's right. I like Ed. He's very good. He's quick, and but that comment definitely got to me in a good way.
Larry?
Hey, Will, there's a lot of guys that were very racy today, a lot of very strong cars at different parts of the race, including yourself, obviously. Could you talk a little bit about the track and how it changed in the different lines? And just from a spectator standpoint, watching it looked like it was a great race, a lot of action, a lot of different ways to get to the front.
Yeah, it was it definitely, earlier you had to really, it was very difficult to hold it low, and my car just got looser and looser and looser as the night went on. It was the one stint there I was leading. I was just zero steer angle. Like I was hanging on. And then we made a slight adjustment at pit stop. But yes, it's a great track for that because there's just so many different lanes that you can run, and it just makes for good racing.
Okay.
Well, you've raced here before, but today in this broadcast, we kept hearing a lot about dirt and sand hitting the visors and all of that. Was that more prominent in this race than in the past? And I have one other question for you too.
Okay, yeah, it's just this, for whatever, I don't know where the dust comes from, the sand, but the cars are just sandblasted by the end. I mean, your visor gets everything gets sandblasted, and yeah, and it doesn't seem to clean up. It's always there. That's how it is.
But it was more prominent in this race in the past, it wasn't?
It was like that last year.
Was
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
There was more mention of it then. Second, great athletes always visualize their goal.
Yeah.
Did you do any of this? I know you said Ed's comment
Yeah.
motivated you. Did you do any motivation by visualization, picturing yourself in Victor's Circle or anything like that?
I didn't picture myself in Victory Circle. I just went about the business very methodically, and you know, my aim this year for the Ovals was to finish every one and just build confidence, because that's been the problem in the past. We just haven't finished, and for whatever reason, getting hit in the pits or this or that. So you don't get experience on. This year I got maximum experience, finished every single lap, and you know, got good, you know, what I needed to get, and you know, it works out.
Are there any questions in the Terrace press box?
No questions in Terrace Press.
Great, we'll go continue with Bruce.
Well, I know that in past years you came, down to the last race for a championship on an oval and things didn't go well. And then tonight, irony of all ironies, you look like the greatest oval driver in IndyCar Series history. You probably had to sit there and think, why did this happen in 2010? Why did this happen in 2012?
The one race that came to mind as I'm driving around there was Kentucky. Because I had a car like that, and I was able to just a mega car. I mean, if I hadn't been hitting the pits, I could have gone all the way to the back and quite easily driven to the front in that situation and would have won the championship. And I just thought to myself, like, I just can't get hit in the pits. I can't have anything. I just want to win this race. I want to finally have a good car and win the thing, and that's what happened. But God, why? 1 year late, too late.
Better late than never.
But hey, that's life, man. Like it's just you keep learning. It's made me a much stronger driver this year, much stronger, honestly. And restart everything.
Keith.
Can you consult with Elio, and what's it going to take for Penske to win one?
Man, we got to beat Ganassi. You know, it's just basically apart from last year, it's just Ganassi every year. Yep, we just got to get it right. It's been tough. I mean, Elio, same thing I've had the last 3 years. Can't leave anything on the table.
Are you and Elio going to talk about finishing second?
Probably not. We're probably going to go have a few beers. Not talk about the race. Have some fun.
Tony.
Well, along the lines of Bruce's question, to have won now 3 races in the last 5 to end this year, you actually got a ton of momentum going into an off season as opposed to a bad loss going into the off season. How nice is it to get those wins and hopefully carry momentum through the off season testing program?
Well, it's great to finally. I said it actually to Merrill Kane sitting right there. I said, when am I going to finish the season in a good way? Because the last time I did was 2008, and it was Chicagoland. I think I finished 4th or 5th. And yeah, got it. Like 2009 broken back, 2010 hit the wall, 2011 got hit in the pits, and then the Vegas thing. 2012 crashed here, 2013 I won.
Steph.
Well, there was a fairly long list of cars going into this race that were not going to be able to score points for their manufacturers. Can you a couple of words about being the car that won the title for Chevrolet?
It's we were kind of aware of that. The group of Honda cars that could score points for Honda and Chevy. Obviously, I was one of the cars that was on the 5th engine. Chevy is just, man, they've done a fantastic job. Since they came in, they were, probably a little bit behind the 8 ball when they announced, and they came out with a great engine last year, and it's just every upgrade is, they're always chipping away, and phenomenal job. Very, very happy to be a part of Chevy. Because you're going to have a good, reliable engine, good fuel mileage, all that. With Honda going twin turbo next year, I expect a pretty tough fight, and Andretti going to Honda, so and which is good. Like Win Campbell said, tough competition is good.
Will, clarification, did Carpenter say that, when did he say that? Last year, did you read that, or was it recently?
No, that was a big end of last year.
End of last
I
year.
think it was
So
Marshall
you've been sitting on
Brooks
this.
thing. Yeah, it's like, okay, that's right. You want to see what? Did you expect me to do this time? No, it's good. Good motivation. That's how I work.
Okay.
I like people to say bad things. It makes me really go. If everyone's like, oh, he's a great, I hate that. It's like, yeah, this guy sucks. And I go.
Well, I need you to say probably something nice about Dixon because you were involved with a couple incidents.
Yeah.
And the way he held his cool here over the last few weeks and really emerged as a champion. Can you talk about that just a little bit?
Yeah, he was no question the quickest guy second half of the year. Definitely had some good battles with him. He probably wouldn't call them good, some of them, but you know, obviously the incident in Baltimore was, you know, very. I felt bloody terrible that happened. You know, I just obviously looked at the car in front of me and I moved and you know, put him in the wall. But apart from that, it's been good, clean racing and good hard racing, and you know, those guys really picked their game up on street courses and. You know, it's just like last week, it qualifying every lap basically to hang with him, and yep, I would say he was the quickest guy this year, and he won the championship. So you know, congratulations to him.
Patrick.
Change the subject a little bit. You're known for your musical abilities or your song picking abilities. What song do you kind of put in your head when you're running a race like that?
It's got to be like that Foo Fighters song. You know that one? You're the best, the best, the best. You know that? Like, that's what it's like when you're in that pack. I'm sure that was playing in everyone's mind. Like, yeah. And then when it all comes down, just like Mariah Carey, Dream Lover or something.
So what would be your goals for next year?
To win the championship.
Yeah.
To win that championship. That's going to be the goal.
Indy.
We'll take our last question. Our last
What's
question.
that?
Indy 500.
Win Indy 500 would definitely be, yes. I always think if I win Indianapolis, I'm sure I can win the championship, because that's usually that's been the point in the year where our points are starting to degrade. So yes, the Indy 500 will be definitely a part of that.
We'll take our last question from Marshall.
William, based on your behavior, I think you know the answer to this question. Are you sobered up yet?
What are you talking about? It's my life, man. Finally finished the season in a good way. West side.
On that note, congratulations.